you have been speaking out against Islam, but this started in September.
Mm-hmm.
You have said extremely provocative things by anyone's standard, in even your own, I would say, or maybe I'll ask you about that. But like you say, you've been calling the Prophet Muhammad a paedophile.
Factual.
There's various videos of you with goats and sort of baiting Muslims in a sort of I don't know what exactly with the goats, but you've said
leave the goats alone. That's my tagline.
Right, and implying that they're goat shaggers.
Goat shaggers, yeah. Well, they invented the condom, but with the goat intestines. But the Romans had the good sense to take out the goat first.
You've said Islam is incompatible with the West, no Sharia law ever. You said in China, mosques are turned into public toilets.
Mm-hmm.
You said it's time for a crusade. Islam is humanity's greatest disgrace. It didn't come to the UK to eat dirty Islamic camel meat. I've never regret doing this. Islam must be kicked out of the West. So you're saying extremely provocative things.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is your motivation here? Are you a provocateur? Is this a free speech crusade that you're on? Is Islam the real concern for you? What exactly are you doing here?
I criticize Islam simply because I've got an IQ of over 70. Islam, if you read the Quran, if you read the Quran and the Hadith, and you can go even further, you can read the Musnad. It's an awful system, and we should be able to critique evil systems. It makes no sense to me that somebody is worshipping, as I said, a pedophile warlord. That's in their Hadith 5134. He has sex slaves. He was a warlord of 83 wars. It makes no sense to me that this is allowed. Their propaganda is taking over. The UK, the United Kingdom, a country that I absolutely love, gave me a home. You've got a British MP. I don't call him British. He's a Pakistani MP in House of Parliament, and he's wanting. He was debating the benefits of cousin marriages.
Yeah,
it makes no sense. Iqbal Muhammad, MP Iqbal Muhammad, and then the NHS had a poster explaining, yes, cousin marriages can be beneficial for communities.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, why? This is the last, there's been many last straws. I'm surprised that more people haven't, many people speak up. I think I just happen to have a bit of an odd face, and people are like, yeah.
When did you first look into Islam?
I actually, I was very interested in languages since I was young. I speak a bit of Russian, German, English, Korean. And I just thought, what's this funny pigtail language, Arabic? And I wonder if I can try and decode it a bit. So funnily enough, I accidentally became a Muslim, because if you say, Ashhadu ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, if you say 3 times, you become a Muslim. So I'm probably the worst Muslim there is. But I was interested in the language, and then I started reading the Quran. I thought, surely it couldn't be as bad as people say. But then when you study it, you get verses such as Surah 4, verse 34, which says, if you fear disobedience from a woman, admonish her, forsake her in bed, and strike her. If you just fear disobedience from a woman, shows you why perhaps some of these cultures treat the woman in the way that they do and turn them into letterboxes. Awful. In Afghanistan, not only are they put in this hideous letterbox dress, which is just to dehumanize them, they've decided that this slit is not going far enough. They've covered one eye in Afghanistan. They cover one eye of the slit, so they can only see from one eye. Absolutely awful.
Okay, so how old were you when you started trying to decode Arabic and then get into Islam?
I've always been interested in it since maybe like young 20s. But maybe even earlier. I was a massive fan of Christopher Hitchens. I'm your Timu Christopher Hitchens.
Okay, so and then at some point along the way, you have made a decision to go public with your opinions.
Yes.
Now, you've told me when that first occasion was, which is in September, Australia TV. But at what point were you thinking, I'm going to take this path that has now ended up with you having everything confiscated at Heathrow Airport?
Well, I decided after going to America, I thought about just continuing what I do on social media. But I started this with one goal. I wanted to change the law. I wanted to change the law around free speech. So I always aimed to fight it in court. That was my goal. I went to law school after music school. I'm probably the only kid ever to fight his parents about quitting music and to go into law school. My mom was like, please stay. She's the only Asian parent who went, no, please, son, stay in music. Don't go into law. I was like, no, mom, I'm going into law. Anyway, so this was my goal. I wanted to make a difference with the law. I wanted to change free speech laws, make it clear that we can speak and criticize a religion. And I feel like we're in a world of self-censorship. The UK is struggling with free speech. It's a massive problem at the moment. When Shabana Mahmood, the Home Secretary, and it was a very British-sounding name, Shabana Mahmood, says that all the Tommy Robinson protesters are extreme right-wing. When the UK government website says that terrorist ideologies include anybody who opposes mass immigration, that's actually on the British government website, then we have a problem.
Okay, so it's two things simultaneously then. It's your conviction and you are indeed on a free speech crusade, and you are concerned about Islam in the West. Am I right? Is that
well? Yeah,
correct?
It's a dual-fisted approach, but I mean, I think it's pretty much the same thing. I want free speech to be able to criticize Islam. My only goal is to inflict maximum damage on Islam. That's what I've dedicated my life to. That's what I'm willing to die for.
When did you dedicate your life to that?
Very early on, when I started this, I knew what the consequences were. You piss off 2 billion people of some of the most violent religion that exists on this planet, then consequences are not so kosher.
Why would you do that?
Why would I do it? I can't live as a slave, and I can't not speak out about this. Look, the reason that I feel so duty bound to do this is I am of Korean heritage. Now, after World War II, during World War II, we were colonized by the Japanese Empire. We would not exist as a country if not for the West. Over 1,000 British soldiers died fighting for Koreans, okay? Over 37,000 Americans died fighting the Korean War, and they fought for our rights. I would be speaking Japanese, or I'd be under a midget racist dictator, Kim Jong-un, had it not been for the West. And it was a cumulative thing throughout my life. I saw the British Empire getting absolutely shat on, and when I first learned about, which you're never taught in school, how the British Empire ended slavery in 1807 with William Wilberforce. That's incredible. It's the kindest empire to have ever existed. It's the only empire that goes out colonizing countries with exporting democracy at the same time, essentially sealing its own death in some ways. It's the empire that fought so many other empires to stop slavery. They fought the French, Spanish, Portuguese, and even the Arab empires to stop slavery. Now, why does the British Empire take sole responsibility for slavery, when actually the Arab Empire traded slavery for longer and had more slaves than the British Empire? They traded slaves for 1,400 years. There are things that we're just not taught. The British Empire gets a lot of flack, and these countries like Pakistan, which is causing most of the problems in the UK, Pakistani Muslims, such as the child grooming gangs, they keep blaming. They have this victim mindset, which blows my mind, constantly blaming the empire. Well, guess what? Singapore and Hong Kong, former British Empire colonies, they're now economic superpowers, great culture. The only difference between us and them is their shit culture. So I I want to change the narrative from self-victimizing to something being more productive. And I believe as somebody with an Asian face, I stand up for my white brothers. I'm not embarrassed to say this. Why should I be when it is clear to me that white people invented most of the shit in this world? It's the British Empire that does so many great things for humanity. They fought World War I and II, which effectively dismantled their empire so that we can all have free lives. Of course, I'm going to stick up for the UK.
Okay, so I'll note, though, that Singapore has something like 14% Muslim population, significantly higher than the British Muslim population.
Yeah, but we keep them in check.
It's not a liberal country, that's for sure.
It's a dictatorship, essentially. At the beginning, Lee Kuan Yew.
Yeah. I mean, they have democracy. It's not exactly a dictatorship, but it's not liberal.
Well, Lee Kuan Yew was effectively a dictator. Yeah. A good one. A bloody good one. I love him.
A benign dictator, maybe.
Yeah.
But so your answer to my question is, why are you on this, what seems to me a kamikaze mission with regard to Islam? It's actually, for you, you see as defending Britain.
It's a duty. It's an absolute duty.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Winston Marshall Show. You can click here to watch the full episode, and for more clips like this one, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, be well.